Did Blake Lively really walk away from a $400 million lawsuit without a fight? Not quite. The judge dealt a serious blow to Justin Baldoni's defamation case, but his team isn't backing down. While Blake's doing victory laps and quoting advocacy groups, Baldoni's lawyer calls it smoke and mirrors and is gearing up for the next move. And yes, Taylor Swift's potential involvement could blow this wide open. This isn't over. Baldoni's team can refile new claims, keeping Blake and Ryan Reynolds in the crosshairs. So buckle up. We're breaking down what this all means and why Blake's win might be just the start of a much bigger battle. Let's break it all down. On June 9th, a New York judge hit Justin Baldoni's legal team with what many are calling a knockout blow. The court dismissed his $400 million defamation lawsuit against Blake Lively, a lawsuit that had social media in a frenzy and the entertainment world watching with popcorn in hand. And why was it tossed? Not because Blake proved him wrong, but because the law protected her. Here's what went down. The judge ruled that the core of Baldoni's defamation case, which accused Blake of maliciously smearing him with claims of harassment, was based on her legal complaint filings. And guess what? Under U.S. law, statements made in a lawsuit or court proceeding are considered privileged. That means they're shielded, untouchable. Even if those statements ruin your career, even if they spark an online takedown campaign, even if they're completely false. That's the devastating part for Team Baldoni. Because no matter how strong their evidence was, no matter what bombshell witnesses they lined up, if the defamation was rooted in Blake's court complaint, it couldn't be touched. It didn't matter. Game over. And that's why fans who were riding hard for Justin Baldoni felt the air get sucked out of the room. Comment sections dried up. Reddit threads got quiet. Even prominent voices covering the case lost followers overnight. It was like the wind got knocked out of the entire hashtag Justice for Baldoni community. Blake's team wasted zero time celebrating. She issued a statement applauding the ruling and claimed she was vindicated. She even threw in a shout-out to nearly 24 advocacy groups, painting herself as the face of a movement. But here's the thing. The judge said his decision had nothing to do with those advocacy groups. In fact, it had nothing to do with Blake's public campaign at all. This wasn't a ruling that proved she was telling the truth. It was a ruling that said Justin Baldoni couldn't sue her for the way she said it. That's not the same as innocence. That's legal protection. And that distinction? Oh, it's everything. Especially now as Baldoni's attorney sharpens the knives for what comes next. Brian Friedman fights back. Just as it looked like Blake Lively had won, Justin Baldoni's attorney Brian Friedman fired back publicly, making it clear this fight is far from over. Friedman called Blake's victory declaration false and stressed that while the defamation claim was dismissed, the court invited them to amend 4 of the 7 claims. That's not a shutdown, it's a chance to come back stronger. Baldoni's team plans to file an amended complaint with new evidence and sharpen their focus on claims like invasion of privacy, tortious interference, and civil conspiracy. Friedman dismissed Blake's harassment claims as unchanged and said when she faces questioning under oath, the truth will be tested. He confirmed Baldoni's team is pushing to depose Blake soon, despite her camp's public denials. He also praised Baldoni's organic fan support, contrasting it with Blake's celebrity following. Bottom line, defamation was just round 1. Baldoni's team is gearing up for the next legal battle, and they're serious. Blake's victory lap and the PR war. Right after the defamation dismissal, Blake Lively launched a full victory lap. Carefully crafted statements, social media posts, and alignment with women's rights groups. But the judge didn't rule on the truth of her claims. He simply said her court statements are legally protected speech. Blake's team framed this as a moral win and painted her as a survivor of a smear campaign. While powerful PR, this personal attack risks backfiring if the remaining claims proceed and she faces depositions. Her victory speech could become legal ammo. This wasn't just a legal battle, but a PR war. Blake's team flooded the media with a polished narrative invoking justice and advocacy groups not mentioned by the judge. The optics worked, but savvy followers see the spin and are pushing back. So yes, Blake won this round in court, but her public victory might be premature. The case isn't over, amended claims and depositions are coming, and Baldoni's team isn't backing down. What remains of the case? The defamation claim is dead, but 4 major claims remain: invasion of privacy, intentional interference, civil conspiracy, and possible retaliation. The judge invited Baldoni's team to amend and resubmit these claims, meaning the case is far from over. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are still defendants, and discovery is heating up. Baldoni's team has filed to depose Blake, which could force her to answer tough questions under oath. So, what's next? Possible depositions, a trial date set for March 2026, and high-stakes claims still looming. Baldoni's team is far from done, and the fight ahead could be even more intense than what's past. Deposition drama and the Taylor Swift mystery. Blake's team claims there's no official motion to depose her, but court records tell a different story. Justin Baldoni's legal team has already filed the motion, and attorney Brian Friedman confirmed it publicly. They want Blake under oath. It's not theoretical, it's in motion. And then there's Taylor Swift, whose name surfaced early in the case, tied to alleged email exchanges with Blake about the original allegations. There's no subpoena yet, but if those emails show coordination or hint at pressure behind the scenes, Baldoni's team could allegedly try to use them to support claims of interference or conspiracy. And speculatively, if Taylor ends up backing Blake publicly or is seen as aligned with her narrative, it could possibly shift the public perception sharply against Baldoni, even if the legal stakes remain unchanged. Bottom line, a deposition may be imminent. And with Taylor's name hanging in the air, this case is inching closer to the kind of celebrity showdown that turns legal drama into cultural spectacle. So, to be crystal clear, Baldoni's team says a deposition of Blake is coming. Blake's team denies any official motion has been filed yet. Taylor Swift was referenced in early legal documents. And what's speculation? That Taylor Swift will be subpoenaed or legally involved going forward, and that her public support could impact the outcome of the case, legally or socially, which depends on what Baldoni's legal team includes in the amended complaint. If they decide to lean into the interference or conspiracy angles and back it with new evidence, this could expand beyond just Blake and Baldoni. And if Taylor Swift's name resurfaces in those courtrooms, the story gets a whole lot bigger. The fan base divide. This legal battle has split the public and the fan bases wide open. On one side, you've got Baldoni's hardcore supporters. They're obsessively following every court detail, digging for inconsistencies in Blake's story, and convinced that some sort of powerful Hollywood machine is protecting her. The defamation dismissal hit them hard, but they see it as just one battle in a bigger war. On the other side, Team Blake sees this as a clear victory. To them, Baldoni's lawsuit was always a desperate, baseless attack. Blake's fans celebrated her "I stand with women" message, rallying behind her. But many of Blake's millions of followers aren't deeply engaged. They care more about celebrity life than legal drama. That's where Baldoni's smaller but fiercely engaged fan base has the edge. They're watching closely and not giving up. This divide goes beyond opinions. It's about controlling the narrative. Baldoni's fans accuse Blake's team of weaponizing sympathy to silence real victims. Blake's defenders claim Baldoni's side is bullying, not seeking justice. At this point, it's less about who's right and more about who can dominate the conversation. What started as a courtroom fight has become a cultural showdown, and neither side is backing down. Where does this leave us? The defamation claim is dismissed, but the battle is far from over. Justin Baldoni's team is regrouping, filing amended complaints, and ready to fight harder. The looming deposition shows this war isn't finished. Blake Lively's victory lap may have rallied her fans, but it also sharpened her critics. And without a clear win on the remaining claims, her triumph feels premature. At the heart of it all is one question: who's telling the truth? That won't be decided by headlines, hashtags, or PR spins, but by evidence, testimony, and a jury's verdict. For now, the court of public opinion is wide open, divided, volatile, and passionate. Don't blink or tune out. This story is just getting started. Thanks for watching your daily dose of Gossip Cam. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the comments.